invite Neturb Manifesto Urbano of University of Lisbon to come in here. I'm happy to be here and in this context and represent this group. This presentation consists in reflections about more recent transformations in Moradia associated with the productions of the contemporary neoliberal city, to a critical reading of the global experiences of rehabilitations. We seek to show how resistance persists in a local scale and in an adverse context. So, Moradia is a neighborhood of the city of Lisbon, means Moorish neighborhood. Was the territory that was assigned to the Moors and Jews after Christian occupations and 1147. The Arab urban planning legacy is still visible in the streets. The neighborhood has always been subject to a stigma and social territorial segregations and stereotypes. Marginal, ugly, dangerous, unhealthy place, prostitution, poverty, alcoholism and criminality are a few characteristics of this stigma. This is a multicultural neighborhood, and this aspect is emphasized in the public discourse. At the present, the City Hall is carrying out the program of action of the National Strategic Reference Framework of the European Regional Development Fund, which Moradia is present, with operations of rehabilitations for a creative city and for a city of the spectacle. Well, I would like to tell you a short story about one lady, Mrs. Piedad, the lady who is in this photo. Mrs. Piedad lives for more 60 years in this neighborhood. First, she lived with her family, her parents and her sisters. Now she lives with her son. This lady knows write and knows read. She worked as a housemaid in houses out of the neighborhood. She has, but outside of the neighborhood. Yes, outside of the neighborhood, but inside in Lisbon. She has a pension of the 300 euros approximately. In last Monday, I went to the house of Mrs. Piedad with more 8 persons. It was my first time there. It is small house. In Massimo, the house has 25 square meters. But it has a kitchen, a bathroom, a room of the Mrs. Piedad, a room of the son, and a living room. We could not sit down. In the living room doesn't have space. Mrs. Piedad has a little sofa in front of the televisions where she passed the days, while outside the transformations of the neighborhood persist. She cannot walk because their legs have problems of the any elderly persons and work on her street horse and the situations. She passes weeks without leaving home. She hurts to talk about the increase of the rental price of the houses. Now she pays 60 euros. How can she pay more? She has pensions of the 300 euros. What is place telling us? What is our perceptions of the space and cities? There are questions to which we cannot respond. Objects that identify places. A vaset door, white and colorful clothes hanging from the window, a park bench, children playing in the streets, neighbors peeping at the window. We create ideals of imaginary cities, ideals of utopian places that may only exist in our imaginations, or it is real. Some places within cities are real. They do exist, inhabited by real living beings. Children, already people, young people, adults, trees, dogs, and cats. Places where life creates bounds every day. Places you can feel, see, and touch. Places frequently ignored in the speed of the building something else. The rush, the ultra-functional bodies, the fear to engage, the loneliness and the isolations in contemporary cities, where people constantly break connections, disrupting possibilities of humanity, generate immobility and lack of development. Perhaps we can consider something beyond what we encounter at the first level. Perhaps we can reconsider curiosity, reading our ability to listen, to sense, to open horizons. When we allow ourselves to meet what we do know, what seems invisible, what feels strange. When we allow ourselves to meet what we meet, our possibilities of movement open up. We need others' possibilities. We need a city that's opposed to the expulsions of its most disadvantaged inhabitants, that dynamizes and regenerates urban spaces through cultural and political mobilizations of local communities, that encourage the development of local communities and proximity relations, that values the collective identity as sense of places and memories, that can respond to the economic and financial crisis, that recovering and revaluing the local economic activities, that facilitates and stimulates the binding of citizens of the institutions, promotes a real democracy in that the priorities and decisions are based on the needs and the expectations of the people. Thank you.